prayer from the Pledge of Allegiance. O Lord, giver of life and source of our freedom, we thank you for the many blessings you have given our community. We invite your presence into our meeting. We know that it is from your goodness that we have received all we have. Gracious and loving God, we understand that you call us to be the stewards and the caretakers of our community. Help us serve in that role. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overwritten following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held March 2nd, 2023.
Motion approved. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Are there any guests concerning county business? Yes, sir.
Jerry Ward from Jim Thorpe. Just in case you don't know, the Safe Carbon County group is having a demonstration outside the building right now in protest of the Mont Junk Lake development. I did notice the agenda item, and I wanted to thank the commissioners and the solicitor for your work on that matter. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks for the information. I don't think we knew that. Okay. Any other guests?
Yes, there's.
You there, Mark? Okay. You there, Mark?
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, I'll put you on mute until we need you, all right?
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, the next item is the state and municipality updates. Mr. Louis Isa was to be here with us today, but he cannot. Okay. Next is the report of executive sessions held.
There was an executive session held on Friday, March 3rd at 9:30 a.m. for personnel, Tuesday, March 7th at 1:30 p.m. for personnel.
Next item is the department reports. Budget transfers for 2022 and 2023.
Motion approved. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Supplemental appropriations.
Motion approved. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Expenditures, approval of check numbers 234-739 through 234-934 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account totaling $2,359,687.12.
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The treasurer's report?
There is no treasurer's report today, unfortunately, due to the water line break and the damage in the cleanup. Okay, at this time we'll recess our salary board meeting and recess for the salary board meeting. Call the salary board meeting to order. Are there any guests concerning salary board business? Okay. Hearing none, we'll go ahead.
Report of executive sessions held.
There was one executive session held on March 7th, 2023 at 9 a.m.
Next item is courts. Judge Nanovic?
I just have one motion to make. It's in reference to the Magistrate's Office of Weatherly, to promote an individual there from Secretary 1 to Secretary 2. And the motion is to change the rate of one Secretary 2 from $15.05 per hour, which is a grade 4 step A, to $15.42 per hour, which is grade 4 step B, effective as of March 9, 2023. And I've yet to get work on these.
Okay, you heard the motion, Mark?
I think I heard most of it, yeah. I have the paper with me.
Okay, good.
Nothing's changed from the agenda, I don't believe, right?
No.
Okay, good, thank you.
I'll second it.
So under discussion, I know we had an executive board meeting, and I know at the time we had Judge Michael present. This is an individual who he'd like to promote to the office, who is currently there, by the name of Diane Berry. And from what I understand, in speaking with Judge Michael, when he advised the executive board, he indicated that in excess of 50% of the individuals who come before him are Spanish speaking. And that this individual who we'd like to promote is Spanish speaking as well. She has not been certified as a court interpreter. I'm not saying she has, but she does have some Spanish speaking ability. And according to him, she's very instrumental and helpful in that office to deal with the Spanish speaking personnel. It's also my understanding that within the practice of the county, when a promotion is given to an employee, it's a promotion at least $1 an hour. And this promotion, if approved at the salary they were requesting, we give her $1.10 an hour. So I'd just like to say I support the motion.
And call for the vote. Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
So my understanding is the position will then stay in a grade 4 step A. Okay, I don't think any further motion is required. Thank you.
Okay, next item is the election department. Abolish the position of one election board member at $100 per diem effective March 9th, 2023.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Okay. No further business, we'll adjourn the salary board. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Yep. Okay, we'll now reconvene our commissioners meeting.
Next item is the personnel report for county departments.
Motion approved. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The acknowledgements for courts and row offices.
Motion acknowledged. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Advertising. For approval, authorize the advertisement of the invitation to bid for the following community development block grant projects: Lansford Borough Street Improvements, Brimble Wall Replacement and Street Reconstruct as necessary fiscal year 2019-2020. Palmerton Borough Street Improvements, Reconstruct Pave, Railroad Alley and Spelter Road, fiscal year 2019-2020.
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Boards and authorities, Animal Shelter Advisory Commission for approval, appointment of Tawny Delich of Palmerton, Pennsylvania, to fill the current vacancy and serve as a member of the Animal Shelter Advisory Commission with a term to expire December 31, 2024.
Motion approved.
Second on discussion. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, I fought diligently to diversify the Mock Chunk Lake Park, or the Parks and Rec Advisory Board. Due to the fact, the reality was not a pejorative description, but an accurate description. A handful of 70-year-old white gentlemen talking about the future of the park, what the park should look like. I was glad to be joined by my colleagues when an opportunity presented itself here just a few months ago to diversify that board, to bring in a family membership owner, a woman with children who could bring a different perspective that that board did not have. Now that brings us to this board, the Animal Shelter Advisory Board, which has been proven to be very effective in its last 14 months. And we've done a pretty darn good job of bringing in diverse backgrounds and experiences, but what we don't have by this particular nomination, a diversity in gender. And I do believe it is important because women and men do have different perspectives, different way of looking at issues, challenges, and problems. To ensure that that diversity of opinion and perspective continues on that board, which previously did have a gentleman, you know, I would ask that we table this and look at the potential male candidates who seem appropriate for consideration of this position. And understanding we did interview Tawny, and it was a great, solid interview. There's no doubt about that. But again, I think greater diversification would be in the best interest of the animal shelter, mostly given what we've seen on paper of the two gentlemen who applied. That's all I have.
Yeah, I would, you know, it's hard after we already interviewed and, it's because we don't have a male at this point in time. I think there is I'm pretty sure we'll have a resignation effective the end of the year, so at the end of the year, how do we just advertise just for a male candidate?
We can't. You know, all other things equal is when you do that. Right.
So,
Yeah.
I would,
Yeah.
I would go with this motion myself, and with the end of the year, when, if this does come true, and it's
Yeah.
indicated that it will be,
Yeah.
that we have the resignation,
Yeah.
we do address it, and hopefully, find a suitable male candidate for the position.
So we have a motion and a second on the original agenda item. Krista,
No, we
did
can
you
go to the vote.
go to the?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna
Okay,
request a table or anything. No, we can go to the, I'm fine going to the vote.
okay. Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Children and Youth for approval and execution. The fiscal year 2022-2023 purchase of service agreement with Concerned Professional Services for Children, Youth, and Families to provide truancy prevention and remediation services at an hourly rate of $72.84 per hour.
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Coroner for approval, award of funding in the amount of $20,000 from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, the National Network of Public Health Institutes, and International Association of Coroners for the term of February 1, 2023 through July 31, 2023. Funds will be utilized to support the purchase of supplies to assist in the facilitation of timely and comprehensive data sharing with Vital Records Office and the public health agencies.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Quincy Technology for approval and execution, an agreement with Quincy Technology Solutions Incorporated of New Haven, Connecticut to upgrade the Quincy Tech version 11 at a cost of $4,500 for modified test environment, $1,000 for demo and training, $1,500 for go live and historical data migration, totaling $7,000 for the coroner's office. This is funded through the National Network of Public Health Institutes and the International Association of Coroners Funds.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Courts for approval and execution, the Pennsylvania Rule of Judicial Administration, Senior Judge Chambers and Support Staff application for senior judge reimbursable costs incurred while on assignment in calendar year 2022, totaling $42.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
A service agreement with Johnson Controls. There's a correction to the amount. For ratification, the annual service agreement with Johnson Controls Fire Protection LP, formerly Simplex Grinnell, covering the fire alarm system at the Carbon County Courthouse for the terms April 1, 2023 to March 31, 2024, at a total cost of $1,095, which represents no increase.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The solicitor's report?
Thank you. We have an agreement of sale, seeking approval and execution of an agreement of sale between the county and Edward and Regina Canick for the purchase of property located along the northern existing right-of-way of Lentz Trail in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, at a price of $238,000 with a down payment of $500 due at signing.
Move to approve and execute.
And I will second that with discussion, just so that everybody's clear on this. And I know Jerry was always, and you were saying there's people outside. This is a purchase of partial of that property. So anybody that's outside of yourself, there's still a fight left here that Jim Thorpe has to make a decision on what they want to do with it. I mean, it's been thrown around all along, but I think our concern was we might have taken care of 5/8 to 3/4 of the problem here. But there's still something left there that the people of Jim Thorpe should have a concern for. Just so that everybody's square on that we didn't purchase the entire property.
This is 45 acres. The owner is retaining approximately 10 acres.
That is a separate parcel, though.
Correct.
You know, we do have entirety of a
Right,
parcel.
no subdivision.
I'll comment now on this. I had an opportunity last night to go back through the Parks and Rec and also the planning meetings. You know, I was fortunate to sit in on those meetings and raise the concern for Parks and Rec in 3 separate sessions. We brought in also, Fish and Boat came in, talked about the state of the lake when it came to the fisheries, and what a great fishery we have there. We brought in JT Borough Manager and a council member to come and speak to the Parks and Rec Commission also about the status of the potential rezoning. And I want to thank a few people who have helped bring this issue together. Ivan Mikesel from the Planning Commission, who brought us an assessment of the impact of the potential rezoning to our attention. Also, Safe Carbon County, the folks who are out there right now for getting on the bandwagon and joining this fight. I want to mention 2 borough council members. First and foremost, unquestionably, Jessica Crowley, who took the bull by the horns, and then also Jay Miller, who was appointed into the position to fill a vacancy, but has been very straightforward and outspoken in resistance to any modification. And then, you know, of course, my colleagues here who we sent a strong letter of concern over to the Borough Council, and then taking it the next step further here, you know, this acquisition and expansion of Mock Chunk Lake Park to preserve it today and into the future. That's all I have on that.
And call for the vote. Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And I have to ask
Yeah.
Commissioner Arner, Commissioner Notstein, why he's texting right now. But we don't want.
Yeah, I had it ready.
Yeah, this is good.
Mr. Canick sent me a text this
Yeah.
morning. He was really concerned about this. He called me yesterday when
Yeah.
Commissioner Lukasevich was standing there.
Yeah.
He was afraid he wasn't gonna go and send me a text. I
Yeah.
said, I assure you, I think it'll pass.
Yeah.
And I just sent him a text, pass 3-0. So he can contact his attorney now and
Yeah.
address his concern. So he's gonna be very happy, and I hope he reads it right away.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay, Mock Chunk Lake Park, seeking approval and execution of an amendment to the cooperative grant agreement between the County of Carbon and the Pennsylvania Fish and Game Commission for additional funding in the amount of $25,355.48 for new restrooms and paving improvements to Boat Launch B located at Mock Chunk Lake Park. The county will provide 53.8% cash match toward the project.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Nothing further?
Any further business? Hearing none, Commissioners' reports. Mr. Honor?
The only other thing just wanna go back to that Canning property that, and I think Chris hit on it, that, we were very well, sending letters to them and stressing that this was wrong. And for us to get this part of the property to be part of it, I think shows what we feel should, and I'm not speaking for the other two commissioners, but I would say pretty much so, that we would not like it there. And I said, like Jerry, the people that are in that fight just have to keep going, to see what's going on. Because before, to me, it was gonna be 9 properties all across several acres, or 40, 50 acres, or whatever it completely was. Now is it going to that it's gonna be 9 lots on the 14 acres? There's really not any difference to it, because it's within that limit of the lake, and that rule was in that length that it had to be away from, and I think that shouldn't be changed. But that's what I said, Jerry, thank you, and thank everybody that's involved in this. I think it's very critical to our lake, and I said, we had Fish and Boat come in here, it could, jeopardize the fish that have been building up over the years, and it's just, it's not right, in my opinion. So, thank you.
We're done with that subject, or you have more?
No, I'm
Because I got a text already from Mr. Mechanic. Says, thanks, I'll wait for your solicitor to contact me about closing. I'll have contact. I just wanted to mention as well, and we should have done under our discussion, this is all part of that bond funding to begin with, and, that $10 million. This came up before we got to that process, but we are able to purchase that with county funds now, and then we'll go through the process of doing a resolution, et cetera, and getting our ducks in a row until we get the bond that we can get reimbursed under that program that was so overwhelmingly passed by the voters in Carbon County by over 83% to do this bond. So this is one of the first one that we're doing, and I'm sure there's others to come. Hopefully, farmlands this coming year yet. Hopefully, we can get some of those settled as well. So we are moving forward with those farmland preservations and open space.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yeah, I will just add on to that. We'll also be applying for a grant for 50% of the cost of that property. Now, once we have the bill of sale, we'll be able to go ahead and move forward on that. Let me go ahead. Perhaps it may come as a surprise to some, but I did not file nomination petitions for the May 2023 municipal primary, as required for registered Democrats and Republicans seeking their respective parties' nomination for the office here, County Commissioner. However, in concert with an unaltered and overarching strategy decided on truly nearly 3 years ago, shortly after taking office on 6 January 2020. This past Tuesday, 7 March, I carried out the necessary voter registration and party affiliation actions to retain my maximum flexibility and independence of action to achieve in any and all of my planned political aspirations and desire relevant to county level office in 2024. I anticipate the possibility of at least one additional notable action in the near future related to this topic. However, it doesn't alter my strategy and plans related to my any of the political ambitions I may or may not have. My intent will become very clear no later than 1 August 2023. Make no mistakes, my conservative values, unequaled commitment to transparency in government, and doing what is in the very best interest of the county taxpayers remains the cornerstones of my beliefs, my values, and most importantly, my actions. Regardless if it is destined to be 299 days or 4 years and 299 days more, sleep well knowing I'll be fighting for the taxpayers. And while you may not like where I stand, you will always know where I stand. and from my core, I will continue to exemplify my mantra, if it matters to you, it matters to me. That's all I have.
Yeah, just one other item. We did receive a coroner's report, and I bring it
Oh,
up to highlight alarming rates here. There were 52 accidental, 31 were due to drug-related activities. I'm not sure, I didn't get time to go back and look at other years, but I think that is one of the higher years we've had. And 8 were due to trauma for the drowning, but 21 suicides as well. And then last year, there was 8 veteran suicides. This year already, we've already had 3 veteran suicides. And I want to point out that, the coroner had a total of 657 cases that were processed through his office. They were also notified of 239 hospice deaths, so 45 autopsies, 42 toxology tests, etc. So I just wanted to highlight the alarming rate of suicides and drug-related issues. As hard as we try to prevent these from happening, getting the word out there, and who knows how many more that drug-related would be without Narcan. And I haven't seen a report lately of how many people were saved, or even the annual report from last year, how many lives were saved through the use of Narcan and how many times it was used last year. So I'll try to get that report from Lehighton Ambulance, the person that's now doing those reports, because all that goes through the through Lehighton Ambulance. They're the liaison in getting the Narcan and the reporting system for the county. That's all I have today. Okay? Meeting adjourned. Okay? James?
Yeah, why did you guys vote to not raise that person's pay?
Well, I can give you a comment on that. We're actually going through this process, and I said I've been involved in it with the job descriptions. And to have to pay somebody for that, I think that's something that we gotta look into the future. But right now, to pay somebody because they can speak a language, are we gonna have everybody across the board trying to get that? And to have a person in a position like that, you'd have to have somebody that's certified as an interpreter. So we could actually be liable for having somebody in there, just for saying, okay, I know the language, but are they actually telling the person the right thing? And I think we had a discussion about that before. If somebody was certified that they can do it, I don't think we'd have any problem with that. In the future, maybe we have to look in all the magistrates' offices to maybe have a stipend for that. But right now, it has nothing to do with the job. It's not in the job description. And like I said, we can't just go out there and say, yeah, you speak the language, but that does not go with the courts. They have systems that they can go on, they can log on to, and they can have an interpreter at their offices. So as for now, I would be for in the future to do something like that it would make it a little bit easier, because the systems lag a little bit, like a court trial would not go as fast. It would go faster with an interpreter within. But right now, there's no, this person does not have any certification.
So basically, it's like hearsay.
Well, and does the person, is the person really fluent in a language? That's gonna be the problem. All you gotta do is nuts up one word, and that's a problem.
I don't know, Kelly, could you expand maybe a little bit on the process, was it Language Line or the service that we had been using to interpretate with having a bilingual person in the office? We help eliminate that need. We don't totally eliminate the need of that, but doesn't that help with the keeping the flow in the office and having to deal with, I don't know how they do the process, whether they have to get on the phone with someone else and that process. So you have any idea, or can you expand on that at all?
Well, the language line service is utilized for general conversation when they're making inquiries into the office. We call the phone number, they're on the phone, our person's on the phone, and our staff member is sitting there, they're having conversation. But we're required by AOPC, when it comes to an actual hearing, we have to have a certified court reporter in the hearing. So there's a list with the AOPC, Administrative Office of Pennsylvania Courts. There's a whole program that those interpreters have to go through to get certified. It's very intense. They have to pass some very difficult tests to get certified. And when it's an actual hearing, we have to bring in those interpreters, which we have to pay for that as well.
Yeah. And the use of that, is that billed each use, or is it by the minute, or is it a flat rate for that service?
Well, if you're using the language line service, which is an initial contact for basic information, that's per minute. We have a contract with language service for per minute. And you can ask for any type of language. They have all these different ones out there. But when it comes to an actual hearing where the person is physically in attendance, they have contracts for half-day rates, full-day rates, mileage.
To me, it's a wash.
James, yo voy a decir que para mí es muy importante que una persona que va a usar su lengua para traducir tiene que tener un certificado, ¿sí? Y sin prueba de la capacidad de hablar en inglés o español, yo no voy a votar en favor de el aumento del salario sin prueba. Estoy de acuerdo con los comentarios del señor Armour.
Yes, I did take the call.
Yeah, right, you did, right. And again, you know, it could have been Sesame Street Spanish, or it could have been a much higher level. I think we would have maybe even been more comfortable if we did actually see, as Rocky said, you know, a certification to prove that capacity, and then to put it in the key functions of the position, which is needed.
Yeah, and I think we see that all the time, and it is needed, but I think we gotta do the proper way, you
Yeah.
know, to get, yeah.
I think that's all I have.
Read it?
Do you have anything, Amy? Oh, okay, oh, yeah. Maybe you should took, we might have took, should have took Ryan first.
Okay, with regards to the Cannon property, you got 45 of the 50+ acres. So the acreage that he is retaining, where is that located out of that parcel with the lake?
Right around the breast of the dam coming towards the absorbent
Yeah,
area.
yeah, it's almost just below the breast of the dam, so it would be east of the current parcel that we're purchasing. So it really impacts Mock Chunk Creek, excuse me, talking like a local, right? Versus our major equity, which of course is, you know, the lake.
So it's now you kind of then tilted the battle from the lake itself to Morgan Creek.
Yeah.
Okay. With regards to your action, Commissioner Lukasevich, with not filing petition, I'm reading between the lines when you're talking about party affiliation and independence. Does that mean you have changed to independent?
I would say check the voter rolls, they are public record.
Okay.
Yeah. You know.
Okay. And then may I have a copy of the coroner's report, please?
Sure.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Mhm.
What are you guys hoping to do with the property that you did purchase?
Nothing.
Nothing.
As pristine as it is today.
And how would this help, I guess, the fight against with Jim Thorpe, or really doesn't it help?
I don't know if it really helps with it, but I think one of the things that I look at, I mean, the whole property was involved in it, and when there's water or sewage or whatever is running, it's not really running uphill, it's going through the whole system, you know, through the shale or whatever it is. And it could work into the creek, or there could be a vein going to the lake. And I think my concern about it is, a developer could come in, and I've seen this all around, they get a plan developed, do they have enough money to develop it? I mean, we've seen that in the county, and then it's gonna be sold. And it could be sold again. And if nothing ever happens there, and if the county would choose to buy that part of it yet, to protect it yet. Now it's turned over to commercial, and now all of a sudden it's 3 times the amount of money. And the county could not afford that. I mean, we're going through some of, you know, you could see how much we paid for this. I think it was a pretty good price for what we got for how much property is. But my concern is if it is passed, that property might be worth 3 times the amount, and it may never get work done. And like I said, we could wind up, and I don't know what our views are if we would purchase it. Now, if it's gonna wind up, you know, if it was $100,000, now next thing it's gonna be $500,000 for the property. And it's not gonna, and that would be not affordable to us. And I said, I just go back to it. We were, I think the whole property, we didn't like being changed. So that's my concern, that just because the developer says they want it and they're gonna have it plans for it, that doesn't mean they have the money to do it. Simple as that.
And I
Just-
would,
go ahead.
sorry, I would thank Mr. Koenig for working with this.
Oh, yeah, yes.
There, and it came, we settled on the appraised price of the property. And who knows if a developer would have came in and or offered a lot more than that. So, in preserving it, I just think we're just trying to protect the quality of the soil and the water of that area. Whether the borough would have required them to hook up to the sewer system, I would believe they would. So, it's just a win-win for all of us, and it's part of the natural beauty there, and who's gonna go to the lake to look at the housing development, you know, so.
Yeah, I would say, keep in mind, currently the way the special district is set up there, currently with that 1/2 mile buffer off of Mock Chunk Creek, Mr. Canick, without hooking up to the sewer system, would not be able to build even on the lot he retains at this time. Now, if it is reduced to 1,000 feet, that entire acreage that he has could be built upon with septic systems. And the other point I'll mention to the public, and I've posted about that, there is a request for a variance in the special district at 300 Lentz Trail to have a short-term rental at 300 Lentz Trail. And again, many of the communities, municipalities here in Carbon County are very aware of the stress short-term rentals place on the water and septic systems in short-term rentals. So again, you gotta keep alert. You can't let down your guard if you're gonna continue to protect our natural resources, and specifically the water source for the portions of the borough of Jim Thorpe.
Also about Mock Chunk, talk about with the agreement with the Fish and Boat for new bathrooms there, I guess, Boat Launch B and new parking lot and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just a system upgrade, basically. The blacktop is really bad in the parking lot. We did part of the driveway before, and this project should take it up to where it turns to the better asphalt. The restroom facilities are in dire need of repair, so fortunately we were able to get some grant funding for these projects, so we're moving along with that.
Yeah, and it's nearly been, I think, almost 3 years since it was initiated. The grant was approved with state money, but then federal money became available, so that created a delay because the state wanted to use federal money first before the state money. So it's good that we are getting closer to actually, getting it out to bid, but there are still more administrative processes to take place.
You don't have a time frame of when the construction would start, anything like that?
Oh, no, we're not
No.
sure now.
No.
Okay.
And then lastly, how are things going on in this building with?
Okay, let's bring that up quick. We should have done that under further business. It's getting there. We're hoping they pull the equipment out tomorrow, when everything is dried out, but that's, we're not sure yet what else. Well, we know we have to replace ceiling tiles, some furniture, computer, and some other equipment, a printer, phones. They literally poured water out of the telephones, or at least one of them. It looks like they might be salvageable, and I was in there yesterday with IT, they were working. So hopefully there's no long-term effects, they continue to work, but the ceiling tile, and we have to decide what we're gonna do with the carpeting is the next big issue, and we'll be meeting with the insurance adjuster will be in, and we've been meeting with the contractor. Yesterday, we met with the contractor for a little bit, doing the cleanup. We're getting there. We're hoping the machines will come out tomorrow, and we can proceed with maybe replacing tiles, or we just have to work out a lot of the details with the insurance. We did file an insurance claim. We were fortunate that it didn't happen on a Friday evening, and fortunately, it set off a smoke alarm. The fire department was dispatched at 6:06, no fire alarm here. Our guys were already here because of salting and everything, because of the snow and that, and we shut it off immediately, but who knows how long it was running. It was yesterday, yet they poked a hole in the silver, the aluminum covered insulation around the ductwork, and the water had just run out, draining all the areas yet. And so I'm sure I don't wanna, myself, I think we should wait a while before we replace ceiling tiles to ensure that everything is thoroughly dried out, because we don't want to have any mold issues. And the other thing, they will be spraying non-toxic, a mold resistant, I forget what was it called?
Crinobium.
Huh?
Crinobium.
Canopian, yeah, so, to prevent mold, so that we're doing everything we can to, prevent mold buildup and everything. My big concern is moisture under the file cabinet, so we'll have to look at that later today, I would say, and if we have to move file cabinets, because it's not gonna dry so quick under the file cabinets, and it depends what the insurance adjusters say as well, and what we have to do or feel is in the best interest of our employees and visitors, that, that everything is gonna be safe. So even if we have to go above and beyond, I would say, okay, we're not gonna take any chances, we'll do some rug replacement, et cetera. So we got some decisions to make yet, but currently there are still about, most of the offices in this building are closed, tax assessment, tax claim, mapping, GIS, the register of will, our deeds, recorder of deeds, the human resources and controller's office. Again, they're all closed today yet. We'll reevaluate it this afternoon and decide where we're going from there. Top of that project, hopefully they'll be starting the elevator project later, maybe next week, I don't know, we're waiting. Supposedly the equipment's supposed to come in this week. On top of that, as you can saw outside there with the scaffolding, and the lifts are up the back here in the upper parking lot to start the roof and air conditioning project, which could take 2 to 3 months. A lot of things happening in this building here. Hopefully we'll get the employees back, get the offices opened up, at least partially tomorrow, I'm hoping. So we'll work with the elected officials and department heads, and maybe we'll have a discussion with them again this afternoon when we get another update on progress from Service Pro, who's doing the work. We'll get everything on that?
Yeah,
And the
well,
building, the
well,
roof, the elevator.
the adjuster should be here, he might even be here now. And I'm gonna walk around with him, and I told him this morning, water goes beyond where you see it. When I walk through, there's carpet wet, but when you walk 12 feet past that, you can still see the water. And there's some ceiling tiles that are ruined here, and then 12 foot away, there's water. So it's following the tracks, and we're not gonna settle for anything less, just for the protection of the people or the public even coming in. I mean, we don't wanna go in here and clean this part out, and then we get mold where we didn't look at. So when they come in, I'm taking ceiling tile out, we're looking wherever the water went to.
Drywall.
Yeah, and drywall, and it gotta be addressed.
Yeah, we, as bad as it is, we were extremely fortunate that it didn't rain on the tax bills that were just printed, 44,000 of them. A lot of the other records in the assessment office, controllers, et cetera, got some wet paperwork, and very little was damaged, or I don't even know if it was totally destroyed. There were some records from one of the offices, but we were extremely lucky that the damage to our records were not even more than they were. So we really lucked out on hate to say it that way, but we were lucky. Okay?
All right.
Just to follow up on that, so you don't have an estimated cost for how much of the damage?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, the guy that's doing that is coming tomorrow, but the adjuster will give us a price too. That's why we wanna have both on, cause we can't wait. This gotta get done. I mean, this is a public building that's open 5 days a week, and we have to make it safe for everybody coming in. And I was looking at it, like I even suggested to them, that when they do the work, maybe we'll have to have, you know, maybe the second floor, wherever the work is being done, they might have to be off Friday. They have to incorporate it, I think, to work like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you know, something like that, that doesn't disrupt. You know, we have people coming in, the recording of deeds and, you know, the taxes, and it's essential to what we're in, especially with the taxes coming up. There's gonna be a lot of people coming in, and that goes back to the elevator. Like, I sent an email to them yesterday. This gotta be done by the end of the month. I mean, our tax season is coming, and if we do appeals, what are we gonna do? Take people and shove them up a ladder? You know, I'm sort of a little bit disgusted, you know, or disappointed with this elevator thing. I mean, this has been going on since before Christmas. And it's not acceptable, not at all. I don't wanna hear any more excuses again, that there's parts, and I even suggested to them before, they were going to a different vendor. They went to a different vendor and supposedly got the parts, but it's not here yet. So I'm tired of them running out of excuses.
Okay?
Okay.
Right.
Oh, Gene, one more.
The,
Oh,
the animal shelter, Tawny Della, she was hired till
Yes.
No.
2024?
she's not hired. She's
Well, she's appointed.
It's a volunteer,
Yeah, appointed.
board, okay? She's
just
not
an-
hired,
it's an
not
advisory
employee.
board.
She's just an advisory board for the animal shelter. It's a board of 5 people, with rotating, terms, 1, 2, and 3, well, when we started it, but, every year we reappoint.
If you recall, I believe it was last week, we accepted the resignation of Frank Mignecco from up in the northern tier. So that was basically filling his position.
And then the numbers on the coroner's report, was that for last year, or was that for last
Yeah,
month?
no, that was last year's,
That was the whole year?
yeah.
Okay.
Get a copy of that.